What's up and what's going on, good people? Welcome back to my channel where we look at Dynasty Fantasy Football and we use those real examples to give you advice and a fantasy football advantage. Maybe I know things that you don't know. Maybe I've heard things that you haven't heard. So I'm just here to give you the knowledge that I have, and maybe it's something that you haven't heard before, and maybe it'll help you win your league. If you've been here before, you know that I just concluded wrapping up all the roster breakdowns for my Year 2 Dynasty League. I'm going to start doing my Year 1 Dynasty League. We just drafted this summer. I'm going to kick this off. I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm not going to do one team per video. So we're going to do 3 different videos, 4 teams in each video. We're not going to do as deep of a dive in the analysis and looking at every single player. I might just pick out some players and decide not to talk about others. Not that I don't like them. I'm just trying to save time and get through this because in 1 week the NFL season kicks off, and once the season gets going, I've got some video ideas that I want to do. If I don't talk about a guy, just put it in the comments below. Ask me your questions. Just ask any questions you want in the comments below, actually. I'm just trying to give anyone who wants to take the time to listen to me some advice and some knowledge. I've been rambling on long enough. Let's just go ahead and cue up this intro and get into this first video of breaking down teams in my Year 1 Dynasty League.
What's going on, good people? You feel me? Folks on ATO on the beat. Rolling down the block with my niggas. Yeah, you know my nigga got them trees. Dynasty, yeah, we got extensions. Please don't make me pull up in your city, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Diamond on the rolling. Yeah, Master. Diamond on my nigga, yeah, they joking. Just like 2, 3 niggas.
Alright, boys, what's going on? What's poppin'? I always say what's poppin'. I don't know why I say that. I guess because what's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. Let's go ahead and look at what we have going on here today. Alright, everybody, what's up? I have my Year 1 Dynasty League pulled up right here. If you're familiar with the usual videos, we just concluded the Mailbox Smashers. We broke down every team. We picked out the 4 playoff teams that I expect to make it out of the 10 teams. And today, we're starting with the Year 1 League, Sunday at Ruxin's. Shout out to anybody out there who knows what this is from. Season 1, Episode 3 of the league. If you have not seen the league, just click off this video. I'm just playing. Don't click off the video. If anything, smash the like button and go watch the entire series of the league right now. Top 10. But we are going to kick off this new series of breaking down the rosters in my Year 1 Dynasty League. A little different in this league. There's 12 teams, which means there's going to be 6 teams that make the playoffs. Here's all the teams. You'll see some familiar faces like Rizzy Riley Holmes, Team Willie B Always Ready, and finally Mark. We still haven't figured out who he used to be. A quick rundown of this Dynasty League and the playoff structure. 12 teams, 1 point PPR, tight end premium. So every time a tight end catches the ball, 1.75 points. I really like tight end premium leagues. It makes them relevant other than just the top tier guys. Out of the 12 teams, we're going to have 6 of them make the playoffs. So we're going to have an upper part of the league and a lower part of the league. Throughout these next 3 videos, we're going to pick the 6 teams that we expect to make the playoffs. I've already broken down the 3 videos and the 4 teams. I already know which 4 I'm going to do for each video. So we got to start this video off right, of course, with my team, because I always just do my team first. I feel like it's just what you do considering I'm making these videos. Here's my team right here. You guys can check it out. We see some similarities between this team and the other team I did, mainly just Kenny Galladay and Odell. Pretty happy about it. A weakness of my team is clearly at my running back position. In this draft, I just kind of swayed away from the running backs early on. It's a Year 1 Dynasty League, so taking wide receivers early was the strategy I kind of went towards, because I think that wide receivers, their shelf life and the amount of time that they stay in the NFL is longer than running backs. And I was able to work out some good deals. I'll just show you down here real fast. 2 first-round picks in next year's draft, and I'm feeling good about my quarterbacks right now. I'm hoping that I can get 2 stud running backs, depending on where those picks are. But this video is about the 2020 playoffs in our Year 1 Dynasty League and deciding what 6 teams are going to make the playoffs. Here's my starting lineup as I have it set right now. I'm really excited to have Deshaun, Kenny Golladay, Odell, Robert Woods, and Deontay Johnson. I think it's pretty obvious that the strengths that I have are in my wide receiver core and at tight end. With this tight end premium league, 1.75 points. I have George Kittle, who I think is the best dynasty tight end right now. I expect Travis Kelce to be the tight end one this year, but George Kittle, a few years younger, longer time frame to stay relevant. I took George Kittle before Travis Kelce in the draft. It's dynasty. I'm glad that I have George Kittle, especially in this tight end premium league. My strength at wide receivers, I've mentioned that I have Kenny Golladay and Odell in both dynasty leagues. I think that they're just going to have good years, and these are superstar wide receivers who can make big plays for their team, make big plays for my fantasy roster, and easily win me weeks. Kenny Golladay was good and productive last year with terrible quarterback play. After Matthew Stafford went out, he was dealing with David Blau and was still being productive at the fantasy position. I'm very confident and feel very good about Kenny Golladay this year. Robert Woods, everyone keeps sleeping on my guy. I really don't know why. I think he's guaranteed for anywhere between 165 and 190 targets. Cooper Kupp is now dealing with an injury. It's not very serious, but either way, I think that the path for Robert Woods just gets better every single day, and I'm super happy to have him. We've talked about Deontay Johnson here and there, but I expect him to break out this year, especially with Big Ben coming back. And Deontay had some big games last year with possibly the worst quarterback that I've ever seen. My quarterback situation between Deshaun, Jared Goff, Fitzpatrick, and Tua, I feel very, very good about my quarterbacks. I've already told y'all that I don't like my running back depth right now. I have David Johnson up here who, he's my RB1, going to get a lot of work. And I have Adrian Peterson, who I guess is the RB1 in Washington, but not for long. And in dynasty formats, he's not very valuable and almost literally has zero value. Maybe I could get a 3rd or a 4th or something for him, but for 2020 and me making the playoffs, my best bet is to just play Adrian Peterson as long as I can until I can figure out what to do at that running back position. I expect I'll be able to play Chris Thompson maybe, especially since Leonard Fournette took that mean L, boy. And Ty Montgomery, I picked him up with the Kamara news, but he's probably like a waste of a roster spot. Nyheim Hines is just someone else who maybe I'll be able to play. I don't really know, maybe Phillip Rivers is going to throw him the ball, but I don't have a lot of confidence that Nyheim Hines is going to be a reliable play for me every other week in fantasy football for 2020. Allen Lazard, Preston Williams, Greg Ward, those 3 guys I expect are going to have a better 2020 than people are giving them credit for. If they do, hopefully maybe I can flip a couple of them for running backs a few weeks into the season. I've got some guys that I like in my taxi, but right now we're just trying to decide these top 6 teams in my Year 1 Dynasty League. So this is pretty much my team overall. Strong point, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, weakness, running back. However, I think that I have some depth and some guys that I can plug and play that I expect I can get by with piecing together running backs every other week. I'm optimistic right now. It is a dynasty league. The waiver wire is going to be extremely bare, but I'm confident in my team this year. I think that the guys that I have in certain places they're going to surprise a lot of people, and people are going to stop sleeping on my team even though the running backs are ass. The second roster that we're going to do is Take King. I told you I didn't want to waste a lot of your time, so we're going to basically show you these rosters and pick out the guys that we think are going to make the playoffs out of the specific videos. I've already said we're going to do 4, so this is number 2. We got 2 more to do. I'm trying to run through these while still giving you, important information and a little bit of reasoning behind my picks. So Tate King, his roster in this year one Dynasty League. Baker Mayfield, I mean, I'm glad you believe in him. I love Baker. If you don't know, Baker's like one of my favorite NFL players. I love the confidence that you have in him. I don't know if it's a very strong and reliable pick there for your QB1. No one's in your RB1 position. I'm pretty sure you have Leonard Fournette. It's very upsetting to hear. You got Melvin Gordon now moving his way into that Denver backfield discussion. Devontae Adams, easily top 3 fantasy wide receiver in my opinion this year. Number 3, DJ Chark, who, I mean, I was big on DJ Chark. They're probably going to be losing a lot of games, going to be playing catch up. He's already shown that he can do it with Gardner Minshew, and I was big on DJ Chark. Thought he had the potential to be a wide receiver 1. He still could be, but Jacksonville is the biggest dumpster fire I've ever seen right now. I don't know what they have going on, so just going to steer clear of DJ Chark. Mark Andrews, probably the number 3 tight end who should be going off the board. Zach Ertz is, other than Kittle Kelsey, you got Ertz, who's probably going to get a lot of targets and receptions, especially with the depleted Eagles offense. But Mark Andrews is right up there. Lamar's number 1 guy. I think he's easily top 4 tight end. Mecole Hardman's going to have massive weeks, but are you going to play him on those weeks? Who knows? Matt Breida, traded to Miami. Could be the guy, could not. You just got to wait and see. Checking out the rest of your team, you got Kirk Cousins. I probably would consider putting him in the super flex. But your quarterbacks are not looking good at all. Josh Rosen, cut him right now. Scanning the rest of your bench, Leonard Fournette, he's going to sign somewhere, hopefully, but until he does, he's like, you can't get any points being a free agent. Tariq Cohen, as long as Leonard doesn't sign in Chicago, I think Tariq could be a good move. I'm not going to lie to you, Tate, I'm not liking this bench at all. You've got some guys who, in a dynasty format, I'm big on. It makes sense to have them on your team. But for 2020, I don't really like a lot that I'm seeing here. And I think that you might want to hop in this app, make some moves, try to get some trades moving around, because I think you need to make some serious transactions and trade moves if you want to have this team in the 2020 playoffs. The third team we got is Coach Pogue. We got us a Pogue, baby. Let's get it. No kooks over this way. If you know, you know. My guy Pogue, he's running with Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones up here. Aaron Rodgers, I have him listed as QB12, I think. I don't have my rankings right in front of me, but he's fringe QB1, QB2. And if anyone's been listening to other videos, you know how I feel about Aaron Jones. Falling out of the RB1s this year, I just think he's going to be one of the most disappointing fantasy players for 2020. Le'Veon Bell, yeah, he's going to get the volume, but he's still in New York. He's still got Adam Gase, and he's still got like one of the worst NFL teams I've seen. I even expect Adam Gase to not make it through the entire year for 2020. So my confidence in Le'Veon Bell is almost non-existent right now. He hasn't shown much of anything since he left Pittsburgh, and he's slowly just worked his way down ADP and fantasy value since he's left. Tyreek Hill is definitely going to win you some weeks, but there are going to be weeks where he disappears. And I think that since you have Tyreek and Amari as your, holding down your wide receiver core, Amari, I don't like either way for fantasy, and Tyreek, I like him, but I'm not sure I feel safe with him as my wide receiver 1 just because of how volatile he can be. But he's still Tyreek Hill. He's still the fastest man in the NFL with the best quarterback and the best offense. So I'm not going to give you any slack at all for having Tyreek Hill. You love your Packers and your Chiefs, I see. Tight end premium, you've got the number 1 tight end, hands down. I believe it. I think that Travis Kelce will be the tight end 1 again in 2020. Travis Kelce in tight end premium, which is a huge positional advantage against other teams. Up until you run into me with George Kittle, you're going to be beating everybody at the tight end position, except me with Greg Kittle, baby. T.Y. Hilton, I think he has wide receiver 10 upside. He's got Phillip Rivers coming to Indy, better quarterback situation. If T.Y. can stay healthy, I think that he could break into the top 10 and prove a lot of doubters wrong. I have T.Y. in one of my keeper leagues, so I believe in T.Y. and looks like you do too. Juice, Another good year for him in Cleveland? I expect so. You know, I love Baker. I love being optimistic about Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield, so that's what I'm going to do with Jarvis right here. I think he'll be, you know, wide receiver 2, fringe 3. You have him as your last flex option. You can't be mad about it. You have Todd Gurley as well, holding it down, running back 1 in Atlanta. I hope Todd Gurley's the running back 1 this year because y'all know what that means. Your quarterback position is actually in better shape than Tate's was. You have Cam, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers, who I think you'll be able to play them any given week. These guys aren't going to lose their job. In Superflex, quarterbacks are king, and you got some to piece together to get you through a season. As for the rest of your bench, I'm not liking Albert Wilson, considering he has opted out. Same thing with Devin Funchess. Tyrell Williams out for the entire year. Sterling Shepard's like the first good guy on your bench I've seen, and he's just a reliable, safe person that you can plug in on any given week. We know what Sterling Shepard is, and Golden Tate is now dealing with a hamstring groin issue. Sterling Shepard might play a big factor for Daniel Jones early on, even deeper into the 2020 season. But the rest of this bench is not really anything I'm liking. I know it's difficult. A lot of people, they get into a Dynasty league. We jumped into the draft. I think that you've built a good foundation for your Dynasty team overall, but there's some guys that I would look to move on from, maybe cut, and just do some research into better options. A.J. Dillon, another Green Bay Packer. All right, boys, and the last team we're going to do is Willie B Always Ready. Willie B's team in this Year 1 Dynasty League is definitely better than, well, I wouldn't say better, but it's primed and ready to compete now. And Will agree with me that this Dynasty team, compared to his other roster, he's trying to win now, and that's what he wants to do. Carson Wentz, Kamara, Chubb, Hopkins, Thielen, Ingram. All right, right off the bat, it's a gauntlet. I like them all. Those are all good options. James White, F this guy. Facts, Beast Baby. Facts. You also have Brandon Cooks here in one of your flex positions, who I think Brandon Cooks is going to become Deshaun's favorite option. I mean, Deshaun needs somebody to throw to. Ben Roethlisberger, Cap City's favorite customer. I like Ben this year for 2020. Good quarterback to have. Quarterbacks are king. You needed one. Carson Wentz, Ben Roethlisberger, and then these bench quarterbacks. Your quarterback position, you're holding it down. It's pretty locked up. You're not looking for quarterbacks. You got what you need. With Kamara, Chubb, James White as your 3 running backs you have listed as your starters, I think you're also going to be able to play Latavius Murray some, depending on how much you would want to play him with Kamara. And JT, I love JT, Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. He might not do a lot at the beginning of the year, but in that latter part of the year, and especially like beyond 2020, I'm loving JT. This man is he's an athletic anomaly at the running back position, just freak of nature. Checking out the rest of your bench, Will, I'm not liking Cole Beasley. Demarcus Robinson is a one-hit wonder. How many 50, 60-yard touchdowns is he going to have, and when are you going to play him when he has them? Equanimous St. Brown might be the guy for Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. If you have Aaron Rodgers throwing you the ball, it instantly improves those targets that you're getting. But we need to see Equanimous St. Brown be productive and put it together for a whole season. And I see you grab Golden Tate. I hope that his injury isn't that bad, because I need to play him maybe as some plug-and-play options in our other Dynasty League. I like your taxi squad here. Yeah, Willie B, I'm liking the foundation of this Dynasty League. I think that these starters are packing a big punch, especially at your running back position. All right, everybody, so those are the 4 teams from today's video. Throw them up right here. Here's the starting rosters. It might not look too good considering people haven't really got their starting rosters together, but here they are, the 4 teams that I did in this video. Me, Tate, Pogue, and Willie B Always Ready. At the beginning of the video, we mentioned that 6 teams are going to make the playoffs, 3 videos, 4 teams in each video. From today's series and today's episode of this Year 1 Dynasty League, 2 of these rosters are going to be making the playoffs, and it's not going to be Pogue and Tate. I know that I like Pogue's team a lot. He's got some firepower, but I was just looking at the other teams, the other depth, the league overall. Man, there was 3 or 4 teams who are all on the cusp of like, man, this could go either way. I'm also on that cusp. But what kind of host would I be if I said that I wasn't going to make the playoffs? So just got to be confident and say that I'm going to be one of those guys. But I could easily be wrong and not make the playoffs. But I just got to instill that confidence in myself. And to all you guys out there, stay confident, baby. Out of these 4 teams, we're going to take away Tate as not making the playoffs, and we're going to take away Pogue as not making the playoffs, which leaves me and Willie B always ready. I think that both of us are going to be in the 2020 fantasy playoffs. I like where both of our depths on our benches are. I like the prospective rankings and where I have guys on both of our teams ranked. I think that both me and Will are going to be able to piece something together and work our way into the 2020 fantasy playoffs. I'm sorry that I had to break that news to Pogue and Tate, but hey, I hope that that just like motivates you to prove me wrong, because prove me wrong and I'll eat my words. I'm not this guy who's just gonna, make excuses as to, well, I lost because of this or this. Just, hey, make the playoffs. Show that I don't know what I'm talking about. Put in the comments below if you think one of these 2 rosters that I left out are going to make the playoffs. If you like Pogue or Tate's team better than mine or Will's, just drop it below. I'm responding to all the comments, considering I never get any. It's super easy. But I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch this video. We've knocked out the first 2 playoff teams for Fantasy Football 2020. We got 4 more spots and 2 more videos. I can't wait to break down these last 8 teams and decide, out of those 8, which 4 others are going to be in the 2020 fantasy playoffs. I can't wait to get to it, make these videos, and just give you guys all season long entertainment for 2020 fantasy football, whether you're in a Dynasty league, redraft, keeper, no matter what it is. I'm just here trying to give you an advantage to win your fantasy football league. As always, y'all like, y'all subscribe, and be on the lookout for the next 2 videos in the series. I'm ready for this NFL season to kick off, especially when I'm dropping bombs and winning every other week. Let me stop capping. All right, boys, I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, and I'm going to check y'all in the next video. Bye.
Rolling down the block with my niggas. Yeah, my nigga got them tricks. Dynasty, yeah, we got extensions. Please don't make me pull up in your city, yeah. Yacht master diamond on the rolling. Yacht master diamond on my nigga, yeah, they choking. Just like 2, 3 niggas.